do you believe that what's happened in Gaza constitutes genocide?
I do, and I think that the fact that this debate is raging on shows that what Israel is doing is egregious enough. The fact that people are actually having a debate on whether or not it is genocide. Like you said, the International Court of Justice has agreed that there's a plausible case for genocide. I think that you just clearly articulated several factors that Israel is, in fact, carrying out. The mental bodily harm and carrying about conditions to destroy a group of people. Clearly, the complete siege on Gaza, the elimination or the prevention, rather, of water, food, electricity, the prevention of aid, widespread preventable illnesses, killing people. Now we see 2 million people on the brink of starvation. Clearly, these are all intended to destroy a group of people. When you compound that with the indiscriminate bombing in the most densely populated places on Earth, I would absolutely constitute that as genocidal killing. And then peers, compound that with the fact that there's genocidal intent. This is usually one of the hardest things to prove in a case of genocide. Not the case in Israel's genocide in Gaza. We have 5 pages just in the ICJ ruling that clearly lay out the explicit intent to carry out genocide. And I'll just point to 2. The Israeli president, who said shortly after October 7th that no civilian in Gaza is innocent, and that they should have overthrown Hamas. And because they didn't, they are essentially worth killing. And then you have the defense minister shortly after October 7th that these are human animals and we need to act accordingly.
£7 million in one day.
Let me try if I can.
500 trucks per day should be getting in. 500 trucks per day.
Let me, if I can, bring it back to the debate, which is about the genocide. On March the 26th, 2024, a UN human rights report called for Israel to be placed under an arms embargo on the grounds it has carried out acts of genocide in Gaza. Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Palestinian territory, said in her report there were reasonable grounds to believe that Israel was carrying out 3 of the 5 acts, which I named earlier, defined as genocide. And she said these were killing Palestinians, causing them seriously bodily or mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about the physical destruction of the population in whole or in part. So to that point, Emily, just forget the ad hominem stuff for a moment. On this, you've got the UN, you've got the ICJ, you've got increasingly the Americans actually trying to distance themselves from what's happening here. A growing sense that there is, if not full-blown genocide, a version of genocide happening here that meets quite a few criteria.
I mean, I think the definition of genocide requires intent to destroy a nation. And that is not what we're seeing. It's not what we've seen since day one. You have to remember the fact that this war was not started by Israel.
There was a cabinet minister who actually said he would be happy to drop a nuclear bomb on Gaza. That would have been the destruction of the population.
Well, there are plenty of stupid comments from many Israeli politicians that I don't agree with.
But you said earlier that nobody on
that... But this is not the same thing. We did not start this war. This is not a war we wanted. It is not a war we started.
I've made that point very clear.
Israel does have the ability to commit genocide, and they are not. Why would we send 17,000 trucks of aid?
That's such an abusive, crazy thing to say. You have a gun to the head of Palestinians saying, we could commit genocide.
Hang on, don't all talk over each other. I want to finish my point about the cabinet member who said that was quite crystal clear in his genocidal intent. He thought it would be fine to drop a bomb, a nuclear bomb, on Gaza. You said earlier that nobody on the cabinet, nobody under Netanyahu from the start of his war had ever espoused any genocidal thoughts or statements. He did that.